To prepare for what Kevin and I see coming down in the real estate market, we've been wanting to make sure we have access to as much capital as possible. Of course, one of those ways is hoarding as much cash as we can, but the other way is building lines of credit. So I want to talk about 5 different ways we're working on building lines of credit. As always, guys, I'm the Flipping Landlord Ninja, and we're 2 guys take on real estate.
2 guys take on real estate.
So the first one you probably know about, and you probably have a few yourself, are credit cards. So credit cards obviously are a good way to get access really quickly to unsecured debt. You often can take cash advances on these credit cards to use for purchasing assets or purchasing stuff for the rehabs. Obviously, you want to be very careful because these obviously adjust and their interest rates are very high. So this is something you want to be very careful with, but we are building up our access to those as well. Second way is if you have your own personal house, what we've been doing is doing actually a line of credit or a HELOC, a home equity line of credit on our personal house. This is a way for you to tap into the equity that you have that some banks, especially like local credit unions, will allow you to go up to almost 100% of the loan to value so that you can get access to that and use that for whatever you want. You go into the bank and basically say, hey, I'd like on my line of credit $10,000, $20,000, whatever it might be. But this is a quick way to get access to capital. Often it's interest-only loans, and you generally have to pay them back in maybe 10 years or something like that. Everyone's a little different, but look into it. But we are getting set lines of credit or HELOCs on our personal residence so that we have to tap into them so that we can use that to buy property down the road. The next one would be unsecured business lines of credit. So this is business lines of credit. It's going off of your revenue. So if you have some businesses or you have a property management company or another business that you can use this is a way to get access to capital. Now, you might not be able to use this for purchasing real estate. You'll have to talk to the company and see what they allow and what they don't allow. So that's something you're going to look into. But this is something you go to all local banks. We're talking to all of our banks and getting business lines of credit. And you can also get unsecured business line of credit. So we're doing that right there with this. So that is the third way we're doing it. Now, if you actually own some rental property, all right, and let's just say you already got your mortgage on that, but there's quite a bit of equity, especially with all the appreciation that happened. And you can talk to certain lenders, not all lenders, but certain lenders will do a portfolio loan if you have multiple ones, or give you access to a line of credit, and that's secured on the property. So this is another way for you to tap into access to that. What we're doing is we're going and talking to our credit unions. We're talking to the local banks we've worked with. We're talking to banks we haven't worked with. And just see every once in a while their products change. And so you don't know what they're going to have access. But often you're going to need to be giving, the last 2 years of tax returns. You're going to have to give basically your P&L statements for the properties. Maybe if it's early in the year, maybe you give them the first quarter. And you're going to have to get them a lot of docs, but what I would recommend doing is putting together a whole thing for one bank and then reusing that for multiple banks, so it's a lot quicker. So what we do is we actually have a Google Doc file that we've put everything in, and then we basically just send that off to the banks so that we're out there and we're presenting something very professionally to these banks. Often we can go sit down with the banks and explain to them what our goals are and what we have access to and see what they kind of possible program they might have that will fit what we're looking to do. So the last one would be a personal line of credit, and that's where you can talk to banks, and generally you can get up to maybe $250,000, obviously depending on your score and your income, but that's another way of getting access to capital that you can leverage, hopefully, to buy more assets, especially if and when the market starts correcting and there's opportunity that you can get it. Hope this was very helpful. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and just check out this video that YouTube's recommended to you guys. Thanks a lot.